Welcome back to Fear and Beer, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. Join us as we venture year-round into the fog.
Make sure you give us a like and a follow on your podcast platform of choice. Also, be sure to check out our YouTube page where we upload every episode in its video format, and maybe a few other surprises as well.
Make sure you're following us on social media to keep up to date with our newest haunted content.
I'm Nick.
I'm Seamus.
I'm Jamie.
Episode before our 5-year anniversary trivia night, which is wild. We gotta find, let's see if we could rally some troops and get a big anniversary episode. I feel like we haven't done one in a couple of years because we always focus on trivia night.
It has been a little bit.
But I completely forget. You know what? Maybe we'll have to get something in the works. Yeah, because, I clearly have so much free time on my hand.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of why we have just a little bit of a shorter episode today. Seamus is packing for the old Rockville.
That lucky duck.
You're slumming it. But we're going to do just a quick little, Ask Us Anything style episode. We posted about this on Wednesday. And we are recording on Wednesday. So if you asked us something on Thursday, sorry, we're not getting to it.
I was just going to say, I was like, wait a minute.
But yeah, we got to go see a fun little movie tomorrow night, so we figured, might as well kill some time with the Ask Me Anything episode. Those are always fun. It opens up a dialogue on topics that we sometimes abandon because we just so focus on what's the newest rumor? What's this? What's that? And we lose sight of the big picture of HHN, and some people have little questions here and there, so it's always fun to see what pops up. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I have the doctor's orders. It's hard to see. You can't really see it. It kind of washes everything out.
It's what I need right now. Doctor's
orders is from Home State Brewing. It's a Hefeweizen, but this is a little nano brew. It's not even a micro brew. It's a nano brew up in Winter Garden.
Huh.
It describes itself as a light and fluffy with banana and clove.
Ugh.
Yeast notes.
You and that banana flavor, man. I can't do it.
I love it. There's always money in the banana stand. This is, I just poured it and it looks like a light beer. Like it doesn't even look like a Hefeweizen.
Huh.
I don't think this is an older beer. I think this is a newer. Or just it sort of smells fine, I guess. I don't remember when I purchased this.
You think it's bad?
I don't know how long it's been here. This might have been
I thought that was a new one you got.
I thought so too.
Huh.
It very well might be.
Maybe it's just not that great.
Yeah, no. If I'm slowly pouring it because the head is
Oh, okay.
right now. But if it is funky tasting, I will chalk it up that it could potentially have been one of those hide and seek champion beers. It could have just always been at the back. I could have just forgotten about it. So, I'll chalk that up. I can't say for certain that I think I have a very rough that's not really typical Hefeweizen, but it's got a little haze on it. I don't smell too much banana. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
There's not much going on there, honestly. So, not a slight on the beer. This very well could have been something that was just hidden in the back.
Mm-hmm.
It could have survived our purge of the fridge, and it sort of just lingered around there. But yeah, so let's get into a couple little housekeeping things before we get into the little questions. And I didn't prep you at all. I didn't tell you the questions. I also didn't research any of my own answers. So it's going to be very on the fly. Trivia for our 5-year anniversary. Also 100 days until Horror Nights. Also, the night before Epic opens, we are going to be hosting trivia with our friends, Haunt Scene, Catacombs of Halloween Horror Nights, Haunt Girls, Rush of Fear, and Dakota from Cathode Coasters, as well as our friends Ryan from DOA and Tyler from Murder on Main. They're going to be there selling some of their merch. So come on out. It's May 21st. It is 7:30 p.m. and it is at Topgolf Orlando. We're going to have as many seats as we can. Last May, it was a pretty crazy turnout. There was a lot of people. October, not so much. There was a good crowd, but not comparative to May, I'd say. So we're doing our best. I'm kind of getting ahead of it. So if you know for certain, 100% you are coming, just try to you can let me know, and I will do my best to reserve a little table for you. I'm trying to kind of get ahead of the game, so that way if I know a bunch of, two tops are coming in, I can prioritize some smaller tables and set them aside versus having a bunch of 8 tops and kind of having to scramble last minute. So if you do know for certain you are coming, reach out. You can message us on Instagram, and I will do my best. I have a decent little list going right now, so I don't want to do too many because I do want to leave some room for walk-in traffic for if anybody that maybe isn't listening or doesn't see our post, but they did see the event page on Facebook or something. I still want them to be able to come and have a good time. But yeah, we're going to have a really, really good crew on there. We got the whole bar. We have the bar top itself. We have tables. We got most of the questions written up now. We have all the prizes, and I keep finding new little things I think we're going to give away as well. But obviously the grand prize package is, at minimum, it's the $50 Universal gift card, but there's also going to be some other little stuff in there as well. Obviously, again, if you go to our Instagram, you can see that reel that I put together of me kind of going through all the miscellaneous HHN merch that I bought last year. But I have been kind of cleaning and organizing and finding some other cool stuff. I forgot, I bought these on Facebook Marketplace. I found them. They are little coins from HHN7. They used to throw them out at the parades. I bought some of them. So, maybe 1 or 2 of them. Those are like pretty...
That'd be cool.
Up to mine. So that might be in the prizes as well. And I always got some extra crap.
I was going to say, I always find some stuff too.
I always buy too much stuff. So I haven't hung this up in 3 years. This is supposed to go up on the wall.
And I never take the tags off things either, so it works out. But
yeah, no. Other than that, we also, it's good time to talk about Smash Fest. So Smash Fest is, we got asked to, I said partner, but we're just kind of promoting it. We're I think Seamus is going to be there. Jamie may go there, but it's the Smash Beer Festival, May 31st from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock over at Hourglass Brewing up in Longwood. This is just a whole bunch of breweries, micros that have come together. It's a little mini fest. There's going to be wrestling there, but if you go to their website, flsmash.com, you do need to buy your tickets in advance, but you can get 20% off your tickets with the code FEARANDBEER20, and it's all lowercase. So the only reason I won't be there is because I will be in Massachusetts at my cousin's wedding. So I think that's a good enough reason to miss it, unfortunately. But it does sound like a good time. There's a lot of really good breweries there. I know, I think Matt from Catacombs was saying that Anonymous Brewing is putting up some stuff, or at least some of his buddies are from maybe another brewery that they're working with.
Nice.
So they always have really good stuff. So I suggest highly going to check it out. But I think that's really it for housekeeping. There was some teeny rumors that I saw. I didn't see much past them, but the one that I did see that we didn't talk about last week would be there is a rumor already for the Dead Coconut Club overlay.
I saw that actually. Finally, I saw something too. Yeah.
I don't know how familiar. I mean, we talk obviously all the time. We live together.
Yeah, right.
But we don't talk about Lady Gaga. Like you don't know much about her.
I was more of a fan of Lady Gaga back in middle school, early high school. I like Lady Gaga. I know you like Lady Gaga from A Star Is Born.
I do love her in Star Is Born.
I like Lady Gaga. I never really got into her new music though, so I wouldn't say I'm like a diehard fan, but would be a pretty cool theming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't Well, you said I love her in Star is Born. She was great in American Horror Story. I like her.
And she was in American Horror Story. I forgot, and I love that season. Hotel.
I definitely can't say I listened to her. You know, I like her as an actress. I don't listen to Lady Gaga. I think there's a new CD coming out that's the rumor as to why it's the overlay. Let me do a quick little search, but I think it was something like Mayhem.
That makes sense. Like I said, I don't really keep up with her new music, but her vibe could definitely fit for Dead Coconut Club, I feel like.
New album that came out March 7th. Everybody that is listening that is like a big Gaga fan, what's the Gaga fans called?
Little Monsters.
They're called Little Monsters? Oh, that's pretty cool.
See, I'm a little privy on the Lady Gaga.
Okay. So, I mean, have you listened to this album, Mayhem?
No, haven't listened to the new stuff really. Just Abracadabra, 'cause I'm basic, and that's the song that everyone knows from that album. But it's good.
What's the vibe? Is it like horror-ish? Does it have like weird synthy sound? Is it?
I mean, I've only listened to one song from it, so I can't say too much, but pretty funky. We can't listen to it right now when we're on the. Yeah. I was just gonna say copyright, but it's hard to explain, I guess.
Okay, I'm just curious what the vibe of the overlay would be.
Yeah.
You know, like, is there music videos with different characters we pull? Is it a certain aesthetic that Lady Gaga uses in the music videos for the singles? I probably should have done some research on that, but maybe next time. But yeah, I'm curious. It sounds bizarre, but not really. I mean, that seems like a fun spot to put it.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminiscent to Rob Zombie taking over the Scare Zone with his music. I'm curious if like maybe they got their hands on some props. I wonder if they would touch on the
That'd be cool.
American Horror Story characters at all, or tie anything in like that. I don't know. But that was something that kind of came out. I don't put too much stock into it just yet. It's still early, especially for like an overlay theming. I don't know if I've ever seen rumors before of what the Coconut Club is going to be.
No, me either.
Like, I don't remember last year being like, oh, it's Blumhouse and like 80s synthy vampires. I didn't.
And I wonder what made people think that it would be Lady Gaga.
Someone just must have talked to somebody there, I guess. I know how House and Scare Zone rumors come to be. You know, like people either working on the project or working at Universal or, you know, third parties, stuff like that. I understand how that comes to be. But something like the Coconut Club overlay, like, it's not getting made now. You know, they do those little turnarounds pretty quick, so I don't think there's any prep work really. I guess if Lady Gaga is there, there's probably a lot more inner workings of through legal that maybe something came out. That's the only way I could really think of it. But yeah, that was the recent. You know, we did a whole episode of Speculation Scuttlebutt because we had a lot to catch up on. But that's kind of the Speculation Scuttlebutt of this week. I think that's really all I saw. It has been quiet. There are rumblings that maybe tomorrow, being at the time of recording Thursday, at the time you are listening to this yesterday, because this comes out on Fridays, that they may be dropping the first preview merch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Some people were saying that, like maybe tickets in the preview merch, not with a house announcement, but just like the typical random shirt that means nothing to the event, because it just doesn't tie in. That would be curious to me, the week before, you know, exactly 1 week before Epic opens. Right? Wednesday, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. Yeah. So that would be interesting because the whole, like, we're not going to do an announcement. I could see, I could see that. It's not as big of an announcement as long as you're not putting out, like, an actual house. It won't get buried with all the Epic stuff. So I'm still in that camp of, like, house announcement after June 1st. Like, let Epic's 1 week or a week and a half or whatever it is kind of go through, and then that's when we can get our first house announcement.
I was going to say, I don't think they're going to officially announce like a big thing like a house until after an Epic at least.
Yeah. Yeah, and even if it's just a little tag, even if they do single day tickets, like, I don't think that hurts it too much.
No.
I mean, at least the crowd, at least the people that are listening to this, and the crowd of people that are clamoring for a house announcement. A, you're going to be there anyway, so it doesn't matter. Aren't really purchasing single day tickets for the most part.
Yeah.
Most of us, and we typically get the frequent fear of some varying degree. So that's usually where we're at. So let's get into our main topic, which is just really anything. Kind of an ANA, and ask me anything. And like I said, I didn't research a lot of this because, well, I didn't really have time. So let's get into the first one. It's pretty fun. If you could bring back one food item from HHN past, what would it be?
Do you want me to go first, or did you know what you wanted to go?
I have a couple right off the bat, but I'm curious if you have some.
I know mine right off the bat too.
All right.
The
I wonder if it's the same thing.
The vegan poutine that was at the Yeti booth. No, not the same. Well, I wouldn't think you would pick the vegan poutine, but I know you like the regular poutine from the Yeti booth from 32, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I feel like every time I think of like good Horror Nights food, that was one of my favorite things. And honestly, last year, it was very sweet, I'll give it that, but it was really, really tasty. The Insidious, like the Red Door cake pop. I was going to say, I think you might have tried a little bit, but I don't think you had one, but that was really nice too. So a little something sweet, a little something savory.
Which is crazy because I love sweets and stuff like that, and I really didn't get a lot of them this year.
I feel like we don't, as much as we both like a little sweet treat, I feel like we didn't try too many sweet things last year. Usually I like to go in the tribute store and pick out a couple things to try over the season too, and I don't really think I grabbed too much.
The one that I really miss, I think it was 31, was the jalapeno popper grilled cheese.
Ah, you did like that grilled cheese.
Those were tasty.
Those were good. They had like a vegan Reuben grilled cheese too. That one was pretty good.
Yes, yeah, they did. Sort of a sweet treat that I always felt like a garbage person eating was the...
I think I know you. I think, is it the Yuri's peanut butter thing that you had gotten? I remember you liked that one too.
At least that looked kind of cool. This straight up looked like garbage.
What was it?
A raccoon. It was the custard with popcorn on top of it.
Oh my god, you got that a couple times actually.
I love it. It just comes in like a little metal like takeout tin. It looks like it's like what you would put in a pie of whipped cream, like that you would pie somebody
Yeah.
with. It looked like it was served on garbage.
And I remember
And I would always eat it over the trash can.
you would
Bar.
by yourself, because I remember one night you went by yourself and you texted me. I was like, "Hey, how's it going? Like, what are you up to?" And you were like, just got myself a little custard, eating it over by myself in the corner or something." I was like, "You're so funny."
And like without fail, every time I would eat it,
You would see someone, yeah.
yeah, they're like, "Nick, what's up?" I'm like,
Hey, what's up?
"No, just nothing, just hanging out."
Just waiting for a couple people.
Totally waiting for my friends and not eating custard popcorn by myself. 11:30 at night before I have to work in the morning. Yeah, that one was good. I mean, salt and vinegar on Twisted Tater, it's an absolute crime.
A classic.
It's not there. It costs nothing. You already have the Twisted Tater booth. I don't understand why it's not there.
I do have another one too. From the Meats Meat booth. I always get the years mixed up. It's hard for me. I know it by the year number, not the... Was it 30 or 31?
Probably, well, I know 30 was the Curie, Ohio.
It might have been 30 then, if I'm not mistaken. Either
Year after.
Yeah, either way, I think it was called the fried zombie brains, but me and Seamus had both had it a couple times. I think it was the like gochujang, like fried cauliflower. That was really tasty too. Mm.
A drink that always got me through that I really wish, the Salt Lake City coffee.
I knew you were gonna say that. Mm-hmm.
Little, I forget what liquor was in there, but it was an alcoholic coffee drink, and it was like the perfect like midnight drink.
It was very strong, but it was tasty.
It had a strong coffee taste, which I liked, and it still had the booze in there. I wish it was perfect theming for Last of Us, but I wish there would be a way to sort of bring that back and tie it in with something else too, because it is a really good option to have. Even if they do a non-alcoholic version, if they do a themed up iced coffee or something like that, I can't be the only one that would be drinking that. I can't imagine. But So those are some food items that I would bring back. The most intriguing original rumor you've heard this year. So it's still early. We really haven't heard too many original rumors. I'd have to look at the map really. As far as like the spec map goes, I mean, we have Hatchet and Chains or Western, whatever. We have the city landscape with the angel thing. What other?
The like Christmas with the book, the Christmas like snowflakes with the book,
Yeah, was
the
that-
possible dolls one. I don't remember. I think it was. I'd have to look back at the spec map, but we had that one. We had the like satellite tower thing that we were thinking could possibly be
That one's-
Carrie.
that
I
one's
think
really intriguing.
I think that one's the one that sticks out to me the most.
So the last one, the Easter one, had the little ship, the little pirate or Viking sail. It had a boat.
Oh yeah, the Viking ship thing too.
Ship
Mhm.
sails. We had the little New York's zone. You did have the winter book one. You had the wanted poster, and you had the little radio tower. The most intriguing, I would say, would probably be the radio tower one.
I think so
I'm very
too.
Curious what that's going to pan out to be. I do think a lot of these are going to be. I'm really excited for the actual spec map too, because at this point for the season, they've put out 3 maps, but 2 of them were, I don't want to say fake backs, but like half maps. They were just sort of fun maps because they did the Christmas one, which is just more of a fun thing than anything, and then they did the Easter preview map, which again was just a little fun thing, but it wasn't a full-on version 1, version 2. So we're still waiting on an official version 2, which I think we'll get in the middle of June or so. So out of those, I would say the radio tower, the pirate one, or I keep saying pirate ship, but the ship one, I think we've sort of landed on Vikings, which I'm very excited for, but intriguing for me is like, I'm just curious what it pans out to be. I'm not thinking it's going to be the best. I think Vikings or Hatchet will be the best ones, but Hatchet, I kind of understand what it's going to be. I'm very curious what this radio tower thing pans out to be. Is it Cary, Ohio? Is it a radio station? Is it not? Is it, we talked last week, is it like a musical artist? Is it like, I said something about the evil Bob Ross. Like, is it this like different artistic style kind of thing? Like a different medium of art?
It's such like a vague icon or like design that it could interpret so many different things. So I feel like that's why it's most like intriguing.
That's for me.
Yeah. No, I agree. Mhm.
Best fan interaction you have had with the Fear and Beer family from Todd Meek,
Todd Meek
who's always fun to run into,
supporting us in our question endeavors.
especially when I'm trying to wolf down 2 hot dogs during the scavenger hunt video.
I was like, come on, babe, you're embarrassing me in front of our friends.
Best fan interactions. I'm trying to think. There's a lot. It's a lot of just like, hey, what's ups? It's nothing crazy. One of the crazier, more ironic ones, and I just went back to kind of jog my memory. Ian, we did a 3-house Unmasking the Horror tour, and we sat down, and Ian was at our table, and he was like,
That was so funny.
he's like, I was just listening to you guys on the way in, and lo and behold, Ian was actually the one that the year before. It was just a random thing. I was there. I was in Hellblock Horror's line.
We were in line.
And somebody was like, hey, Fear and Beer. And that was back when we were a little less recognizable, but people still kind of knew. And I had an extra shirt in my bag, and I was like, hey, what size are you? He's like, a large. I was like, oh, perfect, I have a large. I threw him a shirt, and that was that. I didn't really, see him, because there was a couple, queue lines ahead of us or whatever, so I just tossed it to him. I was like, oh, that was cool. And then, flash forward a year, Ian was just randomly on our tour.
In our group,
And then you brought that up. He was like, I was that person you threw the shirt to. I was like, oh, that was fucking cool. That one's fun. I always feel bad because half the time I just don't. I'm terrible with remembering names, anyways. So unless we like talk a handful of times, I'll remember the face or whatever. But I'm bad with names. There was one time I was just chatting with my friend. I think I was with Leah, and somebody had come up to us, just recognizing the voice. Where I was like, that was interesting. That might have been before we even did video. Because it was just like, oh, I heard the voice, and I was like, turned around, and I was like, oh, who's that? Oh. That one's always a fun one. Do you have any?
I was going to say, that was kind of similar to mine, too, because I'm terrible, too, with remembering names. And this was when I kind of first joined on the podcast as well. I remember I left Horror Nights early one night, and I stopped in the main studio store. And unlike Nick, I'm terrible at repping our podcast, and I usually don't wear any Fear and Beer stuff. So I was checking out at the cash register, and the person checking out my items was like, hey, I love the podcast, by the way. And I was like, me? And I was like, you listen? He was like, yeah, Fear and Beer, right? And I was like, how did you know it was me? He was like, oh, I recognize by your voice. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I think that was the first time I had ever gotten recognized at all. And I was like, wow, I wasn't even with Nick to get recognized, and he's the popular one. So that was really, really cool.
You always, like, didn't think it happened? Until
No, I didn't. It still blows my mind.
You're like, people don't say hi. Not, you know, we're not beating them off with sticks, but people will recognize us here and there. You're like, no, they wouldn't do that. And then, lo and behold.
No, it's really fun. And I'm glad people say stuff to us, because if there's, like, someone, like, I enjoy watching or, like, listening to that I see at the parks, I'm like, hey, really cool videos, by the way. Like, he makes me so nervous. So thanks, you guys, for being more charismatic than I am.
Yeah. But there's so many different little times that somebody will always come up and say hi and whatever.
Obviously with Jordana too, Pretty Killer Podcast, our friend Jordana, it's always fun meeting internet friends in real life and building these connections online and being like, hey.
Yeah.
So that was really fun too.
It is always fun to try to plan around when, like, you know, when we have out of town internet friends come around. It's like, all right, I'm trying to clear my schedule around this time, you know, and stuff like that. No, I had one and then I lost it. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts. I forget. I'm bad. You'll remember the names of everybody, but we did.
Oh God, don't put it on me.
Was it Insidious that we did a couple runs with people at the end of the night, one night? Or Ghostbusters?
Michael and Carter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah. Was
Yes.
it Ghostbusters? Yeah, it was towards the end of the night or whatever we ran into.
Ghostbusters and Triplets, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I think we were in line, like, close to each other. And then we were just like, oh, fuck it, you want to go do some houses? Like, yeah. I was like,
Yes.
all right, well, that's all I'm doing anyway, so let's do it. That's always fun. Yeah, we can, I don't know, there's a lot. There really is a lot, and it's very humbling. It's really cool. I think everybody that has said hi to us can attest to the fact that, like, we're just people that have a podcast about it. Like, there's nothing special here, but, like, we're just fans of the event as much as you are. So please say what's up. You know, if I'm not running around like a crazy person trying to do pictures or videos,
It makes us happy.
or hunts or whatever. You know, it's always fun. Obviously, running into the Meeks, getting a little drink with them, especially it was the 21st birthday, so I was like, gotta get him a beer.
Thomas, 21st, 21.
That was a really cool moment.
That was fun too, because I think that was my first time. Well, this season I think was my first time meeting Todd and Thomas and Megan, and I'm glad I got to meet Megan. I think she was only here for 1 or 2 nights, not as long as the boys. But it was cool because Nick and Seamus had always talked about them and stuff like that, how they listened to us and they were super cool. And I was like, it's fun getting to meet everyone full circle.
It was really cool. I did not long ago. I went to go to Half Barrel and meet up with Bobby, who got our logo tattooed on his leg. That was fucking sick.
That is cool.
That was cool. But yeah, there's a bunch of different little things like that that just really make me happy. Gets the serotonin boosted. But yeah, Todd also asked, are the Pats any good after the off-season moves? Is it Drake May season? Oh yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Where the frig's Aaron Rodgers going?
Aaron Rodgers is probably going to go to the Steelers when he gets out of his, like, whatever, Lake Hiawatha DMT smoking hut or whatever.
He's fine. He's getting in the zone.
Yeah, just a quick little, I guess, Patriots podcast now. They did just drop our schedule. They are playing Tampa Bay Veterans Day weekend, so I'll probably be trying to go to that one.
Oh, you should. That'd be fun.
Be cool. Yeah, we had a decent offseason. We got some good draft picks. Stephon Diggs, let's see if he still has any ACL left after his surgery. The Will Campbell, our number 1 pick, talks like Forrest Gump, and he's just like, he's probably a smart kid, but man, listen to him talk. He sounds like he's just got rocks for brains.
You make fun of everyone, football players.
I know what you want from an offensive lineman. You just want a big, dumb pick. And, I mean, well, he was, like, talking about, like, New England. He's like, oh, man, I didn't know they had trees up here. I'm not making it up. Like
Nick also thinks Patrick Mahomes sounds like Kermit the Frog.
He does sound like Kermit the Frog. I don't care what you say. He is Kermit the Frog. But, yeah, let's see. Patriots, I could see us going. We could get 8 to 9 wins, I think, this year. But still not the Patriots of yesteryear. But I am excited that Mike Vrabel is back as our head coach. So players seem to want to play for him, but we don't have to be a sports podcast.
I was gonna say, unfortunately, Todd can't put much input in on that one.
Yeah, no.
I like the Raiders for the amount of football I don't really watch, but
Actually, we play the Raiders week 1.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
In New England?
I think it's at New England.
Nice.
Which is interesting because Tom Brady is now part owner of the Raiders.
What?
Yeah, he's a I think a minority owner.
This guy?
He owns most of it.
This guy just does everything, huh?
He's got the money to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'll move on. I don't think that many people care about the Patriots. What house do you want to see this year? I want FNAF. So I'm assuming out of the rumors is maybe the one that we want to see the most. So which ones? I mean, this is probably tough for you because you got 2 sort of heavy hitters right now.
I do. It's actually obviously Terrifier and Five Nights at Freddy's as well, but if I wasn't able, just to make it more interesting for the conversation, if I wasn't able to get one over the other, I'd probably say Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Which is tough, just only because I really, really, really enjoy the Terrifier films. They're funny, they're gory, they're good to me, and I'm usually not a huge fan of that kind of body horror and so much gore and over-the-topness, but I enjoy the films, I really do, and I like Art the Clown as the character himself, but I just feel like the aesthetic of Five Nights at Freddy's I enjoy personally more, and I think it could be translated very cool into a house, kind of that like back rooms, abandoned pizza spot, arcade kind of vibe, so I would really like to see Five Nights, and because I'm curious to see how they would do it, if it does come with the animatronics and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, with Five Nights over Terrifier, Five Nights is very different versus Terrifier. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited for it if it comes, but like Five Nights is so different setting wise.
Yes,
it's not a slasher. It's not just Art the Clown killing people. It's a cool, like you said, little arcade pizza place. Now, all right, so I'm interested in this one. So Stranger Things 4, obviously, we really liked it, like the series, and the house was, I think it got a little bit more flack than it deserved, but I do think that they missed a lot of opportunities. If Five Nights is like that, if it has that same reception, are you like glad you at least got it, or are you like, all right, this sucks? Because I was really excited for it, and it like they took the cheap way out, right? Like, what if it's like, remember in Stranger Things that one corner where it was like tapestry of like trees, and it just had like the clock laying on the ground?
Yeah.
Like, if they take the easy way out with like Five Nights, like if they have tapestries of like arcade games and stuff, and like very flat backgrounds, like are you just at least happy you got it, or are you like, this sucks?
I am happy in the sense that I would get it, because it would just be fun for me to see it there and seeing the merch and stuff like that. But I do hope that they try to do it up to its full capability of what they could do with it, especially since in the past, I know in Slaughter Cinema with the Shitty's Kids segment was kind of like the arcade style with the claw machine and some different console games, and they had those physical games there, so I don't see why they wouldn't have full style like standing cabinet machines and stuff like that. But it would be a little disappointing, don't get me wrong, but just the thought of it coming and actually getting it from the last couple years of wanting it after the movie first came out and stuff like that, and not thinking it would be a possibility is just still cool for me. So
Yeah, I don't know where I'm more.
I would be a little disappointed though, for sure, but it's like, it's still, regardless, I'll probably still have fun and enjoy it.
Yeah,
If we even get it.
Yeah, with them having like shitty kids in the past and an arcade, like there should be zero excuse.
Correct.
Not having arcade machines. I mean, look at the tribute store last year, the summer tribute store. Like, they can do a pretty cool arcade, which I'm interested now looking back. Like, was that prep work?
That would be cool.
Let's get some stuff and put it into the tribute store. We can use it next year. Like, we can kind of check off the box for two things. You know, kill two stones with one bird. See what I did there? Switch it around.
I do.
You can't kill stones with a bird.
Jason.
I'm curious what I'm most excited for myself. I feel like I do want to say Five Nights as well, just because I am very curious about it.
Coming from the movie's number one hater. I feel like you didn't. I was gonna say you didn't really like the movie.
The movie's not great, but the setting of arcade animatronics, Chuck E. Cheese stuff, I love. So I can do that. I would say I'm really excited to see if Friday the 13th pans out.
Yeah.
I really want to see Jason back.
I know you do.
I reposted some clips from our way too early predictions way back in November, and I started the episode by saying I think we get Friday the 13th back. I think we see Jason Voorhees, and I was pretty adamant about it back then. I don't want to say always, but I do think running a mainstream haunted event like this, you do need a famous slasher. Like, you need a big name, whether that's the Leatherface, Chucky, Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, even stuff like we haven't done, like if you did a Pinhead or a Candyman.
Candyman would be so cool.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it would have been good homage this year, right?
I know, for Tony Todd.
It would have been a really, really good thing. And maybe someday, I'm hoping that would be a really cool house. But like, I think you need something to represent that world of horror, at least every year, at least one. Now, I'm not saying you need to redo Carnival of Carnage and have everybody
The best year.
the event. You don't want to just like blow it, but I think you need one. And Jason and Michael are up there with my kind of 1A, 1B. Halloween for literally the Halloween vibes, Jason for the camp vibes. I love that like camp aesthetic, the campground aesthetic. It's a fun killer. So that's, I think, would probably be my answer for that. This is going to be a quick answer. Jenna asked us if anyone's a hockey fan.
You kind of like hockey. I was gonna say you like a little bit. I've actually.
I follow sports as a whole for the most part. Obviously, being from Mass, I enjoy seeing the Bruins do well. We didn't do well. We didn't even make the playoffs this year. They need to fire our GM and everybody up there and kind of strip the whole place down. But it's not one of the sports I actually like watch and follow. I never super got into it. It was always tough for me to watch on TV. The puck was too small. I didn't know what was happening.
That's fair.
So I wish I got more into it, but I'm definitely more just football inclined, and I kind of keep my eye on baseball. But the Red Sox have kind of fallen out of my heart as of the last couple of years, because I just don't like what they've been doing with the players, and we're shipping off all of our best players, so I can't get attached to anybody. So I've definitely kind of wavered on that a little bit. But you don't watch sports, so.
I do not partake in sports, unfortunately, but I have been to one Solar Bears game, the Orlando hockey team, and that was pretty fun, actually. But tough for me to watch sports on TV.
Seamus likes sports in general.
Yeah.
Football and soccer are his biggest. I don't know if he watches too much hockey.
I don't know either.
Also, it's a little bit trickier being like a out of state fan. Like I can't just put the TV on and watch the Red Sox without buying 13 different subscriptions
Right.
to either MLB Network or NESN or whatever. Same goes for hockey. Like I can't up north. I could just it's 7:00. Click, put on the Bruins. Down here, it's just it's not the market, so it's tough for me to track my teams. Other than football, where it's like that's just you can get football pretty accessible.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next one. If either of y'all had to get a new tattoo this moment, what would it be? Our logo, because everybody else is, and I'm falling behind.
No, I have a couple ideas actually. I keep a notes list of different tattoos I want to get.
Oh, what do you got? Because I don't. I just kind of get whatever.
Really?
I go to my buddy.
Well, I know you're better about that than I am, but I wish I was more artistically creative or artistically inclined, because I have so many cool ideas in my head, and I can only like kind of like explain them like by writing them out, because I can never be able to draw them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point with my tattoo artist where I just am like, do what do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, cool, do it. Like I haven't I think the last say that I had really was my back piece. I presented him the whole idea that I wanted to do, like, and then he whipped it up. But other than that, like I got both my upper arms sleeves covered. That I was sort of like at his expense. I was sort of like, well, whatever you can do, just do, because you're working with what I give you, and with a cover-up, you have to kind of be very lenient with things. My buddy Brian did a big tattoo on my inner thigh.
Dr. Doom.
Big Dr. Doom piece.
Very
so
cool.
If I got something next, I don't know what it would be. I do want to get something for our dogs, Boots and Daisy.
Yeah, we've been thinking about it.
I want to get like cowboy boots with like daisies coming out of the boot, like stuff. Like,
See, that's a good idea.
just a
Damn
way
it.
to incorporate them. Either that or like a funny little like Dachshund D tattoo kind of thing. But yeah, I don't. Oh, this is a bad idea. I forgot I did it, but I'm getting my leg piece on the bottom is all horror stuff, and I started it like probably 15 years ago, and I've just kind of never went back to it. So it's just been like outlines, and I'm getting my second like session re-hitting it and like filling stuff in the day before Horror Nights.
Crazy.
So on opening weekend, my ankle is gonna be so fucking swollen. I'm such a fucking idiot.
Not good planning,
Because
unfortunately.
when I got this one done, I mean, I was walking around at work fine, but my ankle was so swollen. It was like I got, a sledgehammer to it. It was bad.
I saw it and I was like, oh my god, are you okay? And I forgot he got tattooed. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it looks a lot worse than it actually feels. But yeah, I'll be, thankfully it's just like on my shins and my calf, so like, whatever, that's not that bad. But yeah, that's actually my next one. I forgot about that, literally the day before Horror Nights. So that's gonna be fun. If you could spend the night...
You didn't let me say my tattoo ideas.
Sorry.
It'll be a quick one though. The one I've been wanting to get, which kind of don't think I would do this instead, but I got my Creature from the Black Lagoon little Cupie probably about a year ago, but I really like the melted like popsicles, but it'd be fun to do like a melted popsicle like Creature Head, or melted blood or melted popsicle Michael Myers on the stick, and then have like the blood coming from his little gumball eyes. I think that'd be really cute. I do want to get a Lost Boys inspired tattoo as well. I feel like it's kind of hard with that though, because I feel like a lot of the ones people get are kind of basic, and they do like the noodles, which is super cute, and I would love to do it, but I was like, I want to do something different. So what I've had in my head for like 2 years now is I want to get like David's head, like American traditional style, and then like around of it have kind of like a banner saying "No one remembers your name when you're strange" from the song from the movie The Doors. So yeah, I've got a couple ideas, but mostly horror inspired stuff. And then I saw someone post recently on Instagram, so cute. I don't want to steal people's ideas though, but it was a Labubu, and it was Frank the Bunny from Donnie Darko Labubu, and I was like, damn, that would be a really cute tattoo. And I was like, people always think of this good stuff, and I can never think of it. And it's like, I can't copy someone, but that's such a good idea.
5 years when nobody knows what a Labubu is.
Labubu's all that. That's okay. It's all about the hype.
Lydia, asked us, if you could spend the night in any previous house/scare zone, which one would you pick?
That's a fun question.
Interesting. I mean, it's easy, but man, I love Dead Man's Pier. When I did a walkthrough towards the end of the night once, and I was very much the only person in there. I was coming up on the widow, like the siren, the violin kind of thing, with the rain coming down in there, and I just stopped and stood there for like a solid 45 seconds to a minute. There was nobody around me. It was like 1:55. I was like, she's probably like, dude, get the fuck out.
keep it moving, buddy.
I'm trying to clock out. You're the last one in. But I just stood there and kind of soaked it in. It's a fun vibe. I mean, there's a bar, right? I can have drinks. I can go swimming. I can go boating. I can listen to music. I like that one. What comes to mind for you? I'll try to think on some other ones that would be fun.
Scare Zone, I would say Vamp 69 would be fun, obviously, because that's right up my alley with the music vibe and the vampires. House-wise, that's a good question, too.
I'm trying to think of
Oh, I do know.
me actually being
Haunting of Hill House.
Okay. I'm trying to think of it as not me walking through, but me being a character living in this thing.
Oh, I was thinking of more like a sleepaway camp thing, kind of like staying overnight. Everyone's got their sleeping bags in the middle of it, so that's how I was thinking it. But I think Haunting of Hill House would be really cool.
If I was a goblin, Goblin's Feast would be cool.
If you were,
because they wouldn't be trying to eat and kill me.
That would be pretty fun too.
Going to Thanksgiving, that would be very fun.
Man, do love the aesthetic in that house too.
Scare zones. What would be a good scare zone to just kind of vibe in? The Rob Zombie one was a cool party.
A classic.
That was a fun time.
Also one of my favorites.
You got dancers, you got music,
Mm-hmm.
there's a bar. I feel like that's what I'm looking for in all these scare zones. It's music and a bar.
I know, I feel like that's why I won, bless you. I feel like that's why I thought of Vamp immediately too.
Well, is that your number one then? 69 over 55 and...
I would say probably Vamp 69, and was it 85 or 89? 85? 85, yeah, those are probably my top two. It's kind of hard to pick the one over the other. It's very neck and neck, but I would say probably 69, yeah.
If I had to pick Vamp, I'd go 85.
It's probably my... It's...
Jackson, I remember they played the Misfits in there. Yeah, that's a fun one.
I do love the 80s aesthetic as much as I love the late 60s, early 70s too, so it's tough for me. It's like my two different personalities.
I wish they had expanded Anarcade.
I was just
more time in there.
it's the only reason I didn't say Anarcade.
I loved that vibe, but if that was a full-on zone, even if it was just in Hollywood, where it was a little bit bigger but still a smaller zone, and it kind of expanded with more characters and stuff like that, that would be really cool.
Blood Moon.
Blood Moon is really cool.
Is that really cool?
Cool, man.
Stay overnight in Parish Town.
In the bell tower.
And the bell tower would be cool. Or in the barn with the dead animals.
Pigs.
The pigs.
Just like Texas Chainsaw. Yeah, I think those are probably my picks.
Yeah.
Go with what we talked about.
That's fun to think of. Yeah, I was gonna say that's fun to think about.
Do you ever get told stuff's gonna be announced before it's announced? No.
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 We're not special.
I mean, we really, sometimes people will talk to us and be like, hey, I heard this or I heard that, but I take everything with a pretty big grain of salt, just because it's, everybody knows somebody, right? It's like,
No, yeah, of course.
My doctor's daughter works with somebody that's going to be in this whatever, and they said it was going to be this. It's like the ultimate game of telephone, it's just until I get concrete evidence of stuff, I just don't. We're not insiders. We don't have sources. We don't have this and that. We go off of.
I wish we did.
Yeah, right. It's it's kind of fun.
No, it isn't.
Not having stuff, because then we're just as surprised as anybody for a little bit. But it is interesting when people do tell us something, and I can go back to it and be like, oh, they were right.
I was gonna say, I was like, damn, they were right.
It's a track record thing, right? I have to, once it's 2 years in a row or so, and somebody's like, yeah, this is gonna happen, and it actually does. I'm like, okay, well, maybe next year I'll actually take it a little bit more serious versus so and so that messaged us with 13 followers, and they're like, "Oh, I just heard this and that." I was like, "Oh, did you? Did you really hear that? Did you see this?" Because I don't think you did. I think you're just making this up. But yeah, I mean, we just follow the same insiders, really. Legacy, Hard Night Nightmares are the two ones that I've consistently kind of followed. So when they drop the spec maps and their clues, I take them for their word. I trust their sources. They've been doing it for a very long time. I look at track record a lot as far as when I try to take stuff serious and put stuff out there, because I don't want to put 1,000 rumors out there that are not true. That hurts credibility, and it's just sure, it's fun to talk about. Potentially, like, look at Scream, right? That was seemingly a dead rumor at this point, but it came from sources I trusted, so we talked about it. But other than that, no, we don't get told stuff before it's announced. That's for sure. I mean, definitely, Universal definitely isn't putting that stuff out there for us. But like we mentioned at the front of the episode, we saw people talking about maybe a shirt or preview merch coming out tomorrow. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. There's no definitive, like, somebody didn't message me and say, "Hey, this is happening." Like, for sure, I saw it. It's just, I just kind of read the room a little bit. And it might seem like people tell us stuff because of, it's, looking back, I like to say track records. You look back at our way too early predictions. I like to think I've done pretty good with sniffing stuff out.
Nick's a really good guesser.
I view it as a virtual HHN escape room.
And it's very frustrating.
I look at patterns. I look at release dates of stuff. I look at anniversaries. I look at a lot of things, and then I just think on my end, if I was running Horror Nights, what would make sense? What would people want? What would bring people here? But also, what would make sense? And I think that helps me kind of pick a lot of this stuff out, because sometimes it does seem like people tell us stuff, and I'm like, I swear, like, I really don't have people feeding us stuff. I just kind of, we go off of vibes. And this is fun.
Nick goes off of vibes. Like I said, he's the one who comes up, like, on the clip you posted on Instagram the other day. I was like, yeah, you were like, yeah, pretty good at the guessing for the year ahead and stuff like that. And I was like, you're pretty good at guessing. I was like, it was all your ideas. I was like, the one that I even had, he didn't even include on that clip.
Yeah, I did. The TV show one.
It was like me 3 seconds about saying, like, somewhat of an original thing, and I was like, I was hoping he'd include the Fallout one.
But that was the year before.
Oh, it was the year before. That was way too early, man.
Yeah, you were.
The only one I was ever right about.
As was I. When we did our guest map 2 years ago, our guest map for 33, I put on Terrifier 5 Nights and Friday. I was a year early. I was on the right scent. I was just a year early. But yeah, no, we don't necessarily get told stuff like that. It's just, if you think our guesses are good, then I'm doing my part. Someone asked if they can buy us a drink this year, and hell yeah.
That would be nice.
I'm never gonna say no to free drinks.
That would be nice. Let's hope they have high noons this year. Or if there is a god out there, maybe they'll bring back the Black Widow, the original Sin Ciders. My favorite.
And not the week before they shut the place down.
And they only had it for one night, was never able to find it again.
That one little push cart.
And that one, I know, that was so weird. In front of the, like, Auntie Anne's. And I was like, what? But it was nice while it lasted.
Hey, I'm always down for drinks. Like I said, we're very approachable. I try to stay very active, especially during Horror Night season. About like, hey, we're at the park. Like,
Nick loves to keep everyone busy.
I always post stuff. Yeah, I'm always busy. I always run around. So, and that's why I kind of want to express this here too, so I can have more like chilling out time. So
right.
I can dedicate 7 hours in queue lines, standing around, draining my phone battery.
In the heat.
In the heat. Not a fan of that.
No.
This is an interesting one. I think I have the easiest of the answers because I don't really know the other ones. But what is your guys' favorite park-wide loop? What year and what song? I can't tell you the song, that's for sure. But I think for me the easiest is just 29. I still put that.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
It's still on Spotify. It's on Spotify, and I think a lot of them are. It's that weird like synthy, very 80s vibes. I don't even know. I couldn't tell you song title. I can barely tell you song titles of bands that I actually like. I just know the how it goes. Like I know the band's name, and that's about that. I know some album names, but song titles, I'm pretty bad at that stuff. So I think 29 is I think it's pretty universally like accepted as one of, if not the best Parkway.
I really enjoyed 29 as well, but also from 33, because we're going in, no, 32. Dr. Oddfellow was 32.
That was fun.
That was very fun. The intro music that they had when you walked into the park and kind of over by his carriage and little stage setup, it was very like deep, dark, kind of like drum and bass. Really, really liked that track too.
Yeah, that one was a good one. But I think 29, I always go back to.
I love music questions too because I really enjoy scores and music from films and everything like that too. So it's always fun to see the original music they pick for the event for the houses in the park and stuff.
Yeah. What is your best HHN tip or trick when attending?
That's a fun question.
I mean, I know mine.
Always bring an umbrella.
Especially in those early September.
Even a small mini one. Nick and Seamus were umbrella-less for a while, and Jamie was the only one who had one, because I remembered.
Concede to the fact of looking cool. Just bring a poncho.
Or a poncho, yeah.
Just bring one. And, you know, you're not alone. I've learned that the hard way. I'd say mine, the biggest one is just stay till the end. Close it out. You can get a lot of houses done from like 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., 12:30 to 2 a.m.
Yes.
The house lines drop pretty drastically. And that's typically when I'll do those big IPs. I remember Last of Us, like I didn't love it. It's whatever. It just wasn't a property for me, but it always had crazy lines. I only did it like 5 or 6 times, but
I did it once.
yeah, for the most part, every time I did it, it was probably at like 1:45, 1:55 in the morning.
Yeah.
I would just show up and be like, please let me in. And it would be like a 10-minute wait. That It's tough. Like, I know if you're here for just 1 day or 2 days or whatever, and you want to like, I feel like a lot of people, when they're down here for like a 2 or 3 day trip, they do Universal and Horror Nights. And it's like, you went to the park at 10 a.m. and you're...
That's tough.
Trying to stay in screen.
Better than me.
It's tough to stay till the very end. So I would suggest either taking a break, maybe do Horror Nights on a day that you're not going to do the parks itself, or if you're staying on site, maybe you go to Universal for until 1 or so, and then go back and recharge, because that's a very long day. It's a 15, 16-hour day if you stay till 2 a.m. But it is worthwhile to push till the very end if you can, because you can get a lot done.
I would also say, one of my things I always try to do, drink lots of water. You could even bring in, honestly, I don't have one of my own, the Freestyle cups. I was thinking about getting one this year because it is a great investment. Or if you do buy water throughout the park or bring your own water bottle, the Coca-Cola Freestyle stations you could get free water at, which is nice. But I always bring Advil. I'm very prone to getting headaches and migraines all the time anyways, but I feel like at Horror Nights, even more so with the strobes and the loud music and me screaming throughout the houses and other people's screamings, I feel like that's always something. I feel like a little like just in case kit is something I always try to bring, like Advil, Tums, Band-Aids, deodorant's a great one too, extra pair of socks. Yeah.
Yeah, a little self-care kit. And then lastly, we have one more final one. What are your top 3 favorite horror films?
What a fun question. I already have mine. Nick, you could go if you want.
Can I guess yours?
I'm going to have to switch one around because I'm going to get eaten up if I do say one of them because they're going to be, it's not a horror movie. So I'll switch one of mine. So you go and try to guess, yes.
Okay, It Follows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sinister?
Tough. It's maybe the number 4 spot.
Okay. Lost Boys?
God, I have so many. Yeah, Lost Boys is definitely a good one too.
House of Thousand Corpses.
Mm-hmm.
So what did I get? 2 so far?
Yeah, I would just okay. So I would say definitely It Follows. I was gonna put Donnie Darko on there, but a lot of people don't consider Donnie Darko horror, so I'm not gonna go with Donnie Darko. House Thousand Corpses. Sinister. I would say It Follows, House Thousand Corpses, and Sinister, which
I did call it.
which is very. It's tough. I feel like I like very obscure horror movies, not obscure like in a like snooty sense, like I'm better than you. It's just I feel like I like a lot of the movies that other people don't find as enjoyable or as scary, like It Follows, for example.
These questions are always really tough for me because I have such a bad memory. I should probably get better on like Letterboxd to like tracking stuff.
Letterbox is fun. Dead Silence, another one of my favorites, obviously.
For me, I'd have to say, I mean, Halloween '78 is all-time classic for me. Paranormal Activity, I love those movies.
You're so
That first
funny.
one- First one's such a classic.
No, that they are good for what they are.
Yeah, it's amazing for what it was, for what they were able to accomplish. It's great. As pretty much an indie startup. Interesting. Halloween. I do love Paranormal Activity. Like I love franchises, and it's such a cop out. But like I do like the Insidious and the Conjurings.
Bless you. I really like Us as well. Love that movie. It's a great one too.
Killer Clowns has to be up there.
Kill.
It's just like
See, it's another good one.
Trick or Treat, just like a feel-good movie for me. Like you just kind of put it on and enjoy.
I thought you would say Trick or Treat as well.
I feel like I'm very Halloween. It's Hubie Halloween.
It's not even a scary movie. Hubie Halloween is so ridiculous. God, the amount of times I've seen Hubie Halloween, during Christmas, during Thanksgiving, I mean.
I might have won. Oh man, top 3 is tough.
Top 3 is very tough.
You know, one movie that, again, kind of like you said with Donnie Darko, that's like, it's technically a horror movie, but a lot of people don't really think of it as Jaws.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You know, so I'd say Halloween '78. I'd put Paranormal Activity in there. I love Season of the Witch, but again, like Season of the Witch, Killer Clowns, I feel like I put in a different category.
That's what I was going to say too. I feel like some of them I'd have to put in a different category. Like favorite classic horror films, I would definitely have to put Halloween on there. I would have to put Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Another one of my faves.
Yeah, there's just a lot. There's so many different little subcategories.
Yeah.
And I should have looked through. I have to look through whenever I do these. I look through all my DVDs and I'm like, all right, this one. There's always stuff that I forget. I'm like, damn, I wish I said that. Conjuring 1 was just so iconic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a handful of my favorite horror movies. Not in any particular order necessarily, but yeah, that was a fun little. That was longer than I thought.
I know,
didn't think
that
we were
was
gonna
good.
get, too many. We put it up pretty last minute. So
We just like
it's always
yapping.
fun. It's always fun, these episodes, which is kind of just no direction really, which I really enjoyed. But alrighty, well that wraps it up. This is, like I said, our last episode before our trivia night, so we hope to see you
Yay.
all there. I've been doing my best to write these questions in a way that the casual HHN people will also have fun.
Same.
So it's not going to spoil anything, but I think we're going to stick with the same format where we're going to do, I think, 4 rounds of 10 questions. Each category is, we have 4 different categories, and I tried to have in my mind the way I wanted to break down the questions is I wanted to have like 3 easy questions where everybody hopefully will get them. I don't want to like make people think they're taking a test or anything. That's not fun. 5 or so like medium questions, and then like 2 or 3 like hard questions per category. So that way, like the winners that get those hard questions are deservingly so the winners, but also the people that just want to have fun still have fun. So that's how I'm kind of breaking it down. But again, it's going to be a fun night with a lot of people. Please come on out. Like I said, if you are for sure 100% coming, feel free to message us. I will do my best to set tables aside for each person. If you do that, I will have like nameplates, like little team names or name names, and I'll have your name on there, and I'll kind of set a little table up for you with the amount of seats that you asked for. It might be a little disorganized because this is my first time doing that, but I think it's just fun to, kind of have stuff set up already ahead of time. And if you don't make it by like 7:15, I'll probably have to take the nameplate off just so that way somebody has a place to sit if we have that much walk-in. But it'll be fun. 7:30, Topgolf Orlando. Come on down. And then Smash Fest. If you go onto our Instagram or their website, use the code Fear and Beer 20, I think it was, for the code to get 20% off. But yeah, that's really all I got. Do you have anything else before we get on out of here?
I think that's all I got too.
Alrighty. Well,
This is Jamie.